Welcome to the Carolinas Association of Collegiate Registrars and Admissions Officers Virtual College Fair. My name's Jasmine. I'm going to serve as the facilitator for our session today. Before we get started, I have a few housekeeping announcements. The first announcement, your camera and microphone are off, so our presenters are unable to see or hear you. Second announcement, you can use that Q&A feature in Zoom to type your questions to our presenters at any point throughout our session today. Third announcement, this is just one of a few different sessions that we're offering, so feel free to visit our registration site to sign up for additional sessions. And finally, this presentation is being recorded, and you can access that recording by visiting strivescan.com/Carolinas. With all that said, I want to go ahead and turn it over to our first presenter from Columbia International University.
Hey everyone, my name is Rachel. I am from Columbia International University. I'm an admissions counselor at CIU. Columbia International University is a Christian college. We're located in Columbia, South Carolina. Our motto at CIU is to know him and to make him known. So what does that mean if you're like, I don't know what that means at all? And that means that we really want students at CIU to grow holistically during their time at CIU. We want students to come to know God and to know how to make him known to others. So that's really big for our students. Our students are usually Christian students who want to grow in their faith during their time in college. What we do is we train students to impact the world. So that's something that you'll notice if you come to visit our campus. In our student body, our students are really kind of globally minded. They're really interested in growing in their faith, in their kind of understanding of how God engages with the world. I'm going to pause here. Can everyone hear me okay?
Rachel, we can.
Okay, perfect.
I will just say, I'm not sure if you're sharing your screen, but we're not able to see your screen.
Let me check that one more time. And how's that for you?
Perfect, thank you.
Absolutely. All righty. So I'm going to move right through these. So what does spiritual formation look like? What do I mean when I say our students are wanting to grow in their faith during their time at CIU? Kind of some ways that we do that is through our prayer days at CIU, through our Bible Corps and chapel services and small groups. So our prayer days at CIU, this is an opportunity for our students literally to have the campus shut down, classes shut down, and really come together as a community and kind of come before God and pray, praise him. It's a really good opportunity for students to kind of reset during a busy semester and meet with their friends and sort of seek God. So that's a really neat opportunity that our students really enjoy, and kind of it can be a really formative time for students. Our Bible Corps is another way that we help students kind of develop spiritually. This is 18 credits of Bible and theology that every student takes as a part of their program. So you actually take this in your classes, which is really cool. We also have chapel services and small groups throughout the week. So that's just kind of a daily rhythm that students become a part of at CIU. You can see our programs here. CAU started as really kind of a missional training school way back in the 1920s, and kind of a training ground for pastors. Now that looks like students who are interested in business, in communication, in education, coming together and kind of learning, what does it mean to be a Christian in this area? What does it look like to be a Christian business owner, for example? Our top programs are going to be business, communication, and then those 5-year programs that you're seeing, that psychology program, theology, and then education. What that means when I say a 5-year program, usually your bachelor's degree takes about 4 years to complete. Your master's can take 2 or 3. These are accelerated programs. They're very rigorous, but they're super solid, and they're a way for you to get both of those degrees in 5 years. So you end up graduating with more experience and with that higher certification level. Most of our majors are available in a minor format as well. So if you see 2 that jump out to you and you want to dabble in both, you can always do that major minor combo, which is really nice. And you can see some of our additional minors there. Study abroad is a huge just kind of resource at CIU that our students take advantage of. Again, our student body is really kind of global in mindset and in nature. We have a lot of international students, but we have a lot of students too who want to go overseas. So we have study tours. You can see them on the screen, and a lot of students will do their internship requirement overseas as well. That's something I did. I did mine in Spain. I had a friend do hers in India. So that's a really good opportunity if you want to travel during college, or if you're kind of thinking about it. You definitely will catch the travel bug at CIU. It's a really good opportunity to kind of see the world and learn even more. We do have athletics at CIU. My advice, if we have student athletes here watching, is to go to ciurams.com. Check out that website for our events and for our athletic camps. It's a good way to develop in your sport and just kind of maybe sometimes get on a coach's radar as well, which is really nice, and kind of feel out what being on a collegiate team is like. For financial aid, I won't park out on this for too long, just because I know it's going to be pretty standard with other colleges as far as the process goes. That means that you will start by completing your FAFSA. That's a free application for federal student aid. From there, you'll put in CIU school code, and that's when we start looking at your academics, your family's financial information, everything like that to develop a package for you. But my number one piece of advice here is if you have a concern, let your admissions counselor like me know. We want to work with you. But you can see that students at CIU do graduate with less debt than the national average for private nonprofit schools, which is really awesome. Dual enrollment, again, I won't park out on this long, but this is a really good opportunity, again, to save money and to get some college credit done in advance. So think about that. You apply through our general application, which is next on the screen, ciu.edu/apply. You can use that waiver code, CIU bound, to apply for free. If you're still kind of thinking about CIU, but you're not sure you want to commit, you can use that waiver code and just have that free application, start exploring your options. Here is my contact information. If you have any questions, let me know. You can email me, call me, or drop your questions in the chat, and I'll respond as soon as I can. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Rachel. Our next presenter is from Spartanburg Community College.
All right. Hi, everyone. Can you see my screen?
We can, Sarah.
All right, fantastic. I'm gonna get started. So my name is Sarah Neal Spencer, and I am a college transition coordinator at Spartanburg Community College, located in Spartanburg, South Carolina. We are in the upstate of the state, so that is where we are. I'm going to give you a little introduction about our department, about the department that I'm in, and that is community outreach. And so these are just a few of the other friendly faces that you might be working with if you decide to apply at SCC. We have our director, Mr. Travis McDowell. We have Ms. Franny Robinson, who is also on the call with us today, April Malone, Sherry Buckner, and Anthony Mims, and they all work in different districts of our service area. So just a few facts about SCC. We are a two-year college. We were founded in 1963, and we are one of 16 community and technical colleges within the state of South Carolina. We actually have 5 different campuses located throughout Greater Spartanburg, Cherokee County, and Union County. And we have over 70 certificate, diploma, and degree programs at our institution. So that gives you a lot of different options to choose from. We have 7 schools of learning, and I'm just going to kind of briefly go through these a little bit. We have the Advanced Manufacturing and Industrial Technology, so kind of a mouthful. We like to call it CAMET. Business programs, computer and engineering technologies, along with health sciences, education, horticulture, and our university transfer program. So just a little tidbit too about our typical fall enrollment numbers. We actually had 6,087 in the fall of 2021. So that's a typical number in which you might see. So a smaller number there. So our 5 convenient locations, this is just kind of a view of where they're at, but we do have campuses in Cherokee, downtown Spartanburg, our Giles campus, which is where I live right now, and then Tiger River and Union. So if you're in any of those kind of areas, you actually have a campus nearby that you could attend. So luckily for 2021, 2022, and 2022-2023, we have had the lowest tuition in the upstate. And we also have tuition free right now. So our tuition free initiative is still going on. We have strong student support services, which leads to about 85% of graduates accomplishing their goals while they're here with us and later on in life in their careers. We also offer hands-on education, which is really exciting because you get to really get thrown into that real world situation while you're taking our courses. You'll understand unique needs of the field, working with people that have also worked in that field before you. We also have different avenues that lead to high demand, high growth careers, which includes our certificates, degrees, university transfer, career development training as well, and professional development. So you'll be working with industry leaders who know all the ins and outs of these areas. So something we like to go over with students, sorry, my presentation's a little wonky there. This, as I mentioned, was university transfer, our associate degree program, which is 2 years typically. Dual enrollment, technical advanced placement credit, which is something that you can actually do while you're still in high school, certificate and diplomas, early college, and corporate and community education courses, which is not on the academic side. So going through those a little bit so we kind of understand them. For our dual credit courses and technical advanced placement credit, as well as early college, you may do this in high school and or at a career center in our service area, and this can be applied to your program, allowing you to complete your degree in a shorter amount of time, which I think we can all agree that that's pretty awesome. So certificates, we're going to go through certificates, diplomas, and then our degrees as well. A certificate is a short-term job-specific skills required for entry-level employment. This can be completed in roughly 34 credit hours or roughly a year. A diploma is similar, but this is job-specific skills along with minimal general education courses for entry-level employment. So this typically takes a little over a year to about 50 credit hours to complete. So a little bit longer than a certificate, but not quite as long as a degree. So these are just a few that we offer throughout administrative, accounting specialist, culinary arts. We have management, logistics, mechatronics, medical assisting, all sorts of different options. For our associate degree, this is a 2-year program. We provide career-specific skills and general education courses for intermediate level employment. There's over 40 programs that we include in English, math, humanities, social science, all those good things. And then of course, associate degrees in specific programs such as accounting, surgical technology, management, machine tool technology, etc. Finally, the university transfer program is designed to provide students with freshman and sophomore years of their typical bachelor's degree. So you can actually transfer this out to the next college of your choice. Corporate and community ed is something I also touched on. These are non-credit courses, which allow students to gain immediate knowledge and skills to take to the workplace. Our quick and easy admissions process is something that we can also lay out for you, and I will let you know that as soon as I send you my information. So if you'd like to get in touch with us about that process, if you have any other questions, this is how you can reach out to us at the Office of Community Outreach. Okay. And that is actually our QR code, which you can click on, and that will take you directly to our page. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sarah. Our next presenter is from Converse University.
Hey everyone, I am going to share my screen with you, and I am going to assume you can see it unless I hear or read otherwise. But thank you so much for joining us this evening. My name is Michelle Hernandez. I am an assistant director here at Converse University. I'm also an alum of the institution, so I'm going to give you a little bit of a treetop version of what Converse has to offer. So we will start right in with first, how do you become a Valkyrie? So if you are a senior out there, first and foremost, it is not too late. We have rolling admissions, so this is is definitely for you as well. And for all of our juniors out there that are getting ready to start the college journey, this is definitely your timeline. So first and foremost, the best way to know if a school is for you is to visit and to get on campus. You really have to walk the walk, breathe the air, eat the food to really know if a school is for you. We also have some great events that you can attend, such as open house. We have one coming up in April. So definitely check out our website for more information on that. But that's just another added experience for you to get on campus and see a little bit more about what Converse has to offer. Our application is always free and available on our website. We are also on the Common App. So for any of you students that are out there and you're thinking of doing the Common App, we're on there. But if you're not going to do the Common App, that's okay. Just head straight to our website and fill it out for free. When you are applying to Converse, we are test optional. So you do not have to supply your ACT or SAT test scores, but if you want to, that's fine. And we do super score. So we'll take the best of to give you your overall highest score. But we will need your high school transcripts. For all of you juniors that are out there watching, we can take your transcript as long as it has the end of junior year grades on it. So as soon as June rolls around, you are all set to apply. Next, stay in touch with your admissions counselor. I am just one of several admissions counselors that we have here that are ready to work with you and answer all of your questions as you are navigating this new thing called college and how to know how to do it. So we're here to answer any and all questions, and I am a firm believer that no question is a dumb question, and feel free to ask it twice if you don't think you understand still. And so then when you decide that Converse is the school for you, there are a couple ways that you can commit to the school. So there is a deposit. That deposit is a $200 deposit that will go directly towards your overall bill and hold your spot in the incoming freshman class. But we also have the intent to enroll form. So we recognize that due to the pandemic, a lot of students and families are seeing a different financial picture right now. And so we created this contract that students can sign instead of the $200 deposit that will hold their spot in the incoming class. Some important dates to keep in mind, and this is kind of across the board. October 1st is file your FAFSA. So if you haven't filed your FAFSA, go ahead and get your name in the pot, so to speak, because aid can run out, and some schools and some aid do have deadlines. So October 1st, be ready to go. April is just making sure that you've committing to your enrollment. If you have any questions, that's just a great time to reach back out to your admissions counselor and work with us directly. And then May 1st is National Candidate Decision Day. So we don't have a May 1st deadline, but some schools out there might. So make sure you're staying in touch with your admissions counselor and you're paying attention to some of those important dates. So we are located in Spartanburg, just like a couple of the other schools, SCC is. So we are actually home to 7 colleges here in Spartanburg. So we're a nice little college town tucked up here in the upstate. However, even though we are a nice little college town, we have over 400 corporations in our own backyard. So Amazon, GE, BMW, TNS Brass, the world headquarters for Denny's is right down the street. So we have a lot of opportunity in our very own backyard. We're known for quite an artsy downtown. In the spring and summer, there will be bands playing downtown just to get outside and enjoy the fresh air. And then we're near a lot. So Greenville should be 30 minutes away, but with traffic, it's about an hour. The beach is a few hours away. Charlotte is an hour away. The mountains are about an hour and a half. So we've got a lot going on, but we're also close to a lot. So Spartanburg has a lot, and we were actually just voted the #1 city in the state of South Carolina, which is kind of exciting. Here is a list of some of our academic departments. We have over 35 majors and minors and career tracks, so we have something for everybody. So whether you're looking to be a part of our School of Humanities, our School of Education within the STEM field, or our School of the Arts, we have something for everyone. We're also one of the few schools in the state of South Carolina that have art education, music education, art and music therapy, and we're the only school in the state of South Carolina for deaf and hard of hearing education. So if that's something that interests you, definitely make sure you reach out to us because we're one of the few schools that can offer you those programs. And we also have our Petrie School of Music, which is an actual conservatory. It is a school within a school, so you do have to audition, but we're happy to work with you through that audition process. Here's a list of our athletics. So we are NCAA Division II. We have 13 women's programs that started in the fall, or excuse me, 13 women's programs. And then we have 6 male sports that have started this fall, as well as 3 teams that are co-ed. And then here's just a little bit about Converse. We offer an 11-to-1 student to faculty ratio. 60% of our students are involved in leadership roles on campus through different clubs, organizations, and student government. 90% of our students graduate in 4 years, which is a huge number. The national average for college is 6 years, and a lot of people wonder, why does that matter? And it's because grants and scholarships are only good for 4 years. But we also have a lot of opportunities for students to get experiential learning, hands-on experience, faculty mentorships, internships, leadership opportunities, and we're very involved in our own community and backyard. So as I mentioned when I started, the best way to know if a school for you is to visit. So please come visit Converse, and we're happy to work with you on your journey to college. But game changers start here. Hope to see you soon.
Thank you, Michelle. Our next presenter is from Lynn University.
Hi, everyone. Can you hear me okay? Jasmine, can you hear me?
We can.
Awesome. Thank you. Hi, my name is Annie Shea. I am one of the associate directors of undergraduate admission here at Lynn University, where it is a balmy 77 degrees and sunny right now. We're located in Boca Raton, Florida. Boca Raton is part of the metropolitan South Florida area, one of the fastest growing areas. And this is probably a little bit outdated because of the pandemic. A lot of people are moving to Florida, but we are one of the fastest growing areas in the country. At Lynn University, we are a private independent university with our core in the liberal arts, but with a lot of professional degrees that you typically aren't going to find at a smaller university. 3,400 undergraduate students at Lynn, overall students, about 2,700 undergraduate students. And a little piece of trivia, only just about 4 miles from the beach in Boca Raton. There are basically kind of 5 really unique programs at Lynn University that put together, you're not going to find anywhere else in the country. One of those unique aspects is our liberal arts core curriculum. At Lynn, you actually start your major, your very first semester, along with your core classes. We call these the dialogues of learning, and you take all 3 or 4 years that you're at Lynn. Our dialogues of learning core classes are very heavy in the liberal arts and very heavy in the essential skills needed to go into graduate school, past baccalaureate school, professional school, or into the workforce. Essential skills like problem solving skills, writing skills, critical thinking skills, project management skills, and most importantly, oral presentation skills. Every single one of our core curriculum requires our students to have a presentation within that class. Another really unique feature to Lynn, we were the very first Apple Distinguished University in the nation. We all have those iPhones, right? Well, at Lynn University, everyone gets an iPad, but it's not just an iPad. We have an entire ecosystem with the development of Apple. Everything is done through this iPad, not to be confused with virtual learning or online learning. We're still in the classroom, classes 15 to 20 students, but your medium in the classroom is with that iPad. And it makes for an incredibly interactive and a very engaging experience in the classroom. Another one, we're like a mini United Nations here at Lynn University. We are one of the most international universities in the United States, the most international university in the Southeastern United States. We have students from 109 countries, of course, 47 states, from all over the world. Even just our tour guides, when you come to campus, Our tour guides speak 20 languages amongst each other. Our VP of enrollment is from South Africa. Our director of admissions is from Italy. Your admissions counselor might be from Argentina, from the Bahamas, from Egypt. We have one from Scotland. I'm from Oklahoma, which can feel like a different country at times, from Boca Raton. But it's just such a cool, very international cultural atmosphere. And we take our culture here at Lynn University very seriously. We're also really big into social impact. From what we understand, we have the largest space for social innovation and social impact of any university in the country. So if that's something that's very important to you, to give back to your community, to the world at large, make a difference. We also have one of the only or very few social entrepreneurship and impact degrees in the country, bachelor's degrees, if you will. We also have some pretty unique programs for a liberal arts university. You can be a professional pilot at Lynn University. We have our College of Aeronautics. We have our College of Communication and Design with degrees, Bachelor of Fine Arts degrees, the highest bachelor's degrees you can get in the fine arts. In computer animation, our artist in residence is actually a Marvel character sketch artist, the original Wonder Woman character sketch artist. You might be in class with him teaching your class. We also have video game design, public relations and advertising. We have a conservatory of music for students wanting to do music performance and music composition. Our College of Business is our largest, along with our College of Arts and Sciences, to include environmental science and policy, and forensic investigations, bio, and psychology, rounding out our most popular. Many of our programs at Lynn, another really unique feature, can be done in 3 years, accelerated, saving you an entire year's tuition at no extra cost doing this acceleration. And many of our master's degrees at Lynn are only 1 year in length, can be accelerated for a 3+1 master's degree, because we know a lot of our students, it's very important to get out and into the workforce as quickly as possible. None of this would mean anything if we didn't have high return on investment at Lynn University. Being in one of the largest areas in the country does allow us to send our students to amazing graduate and professional schools that you can see here, as well as sending our students to some really well-known companies. One of my tour guides was actually just hired by Louis Vuitton corporate from our fashion and retail program. Thank you so much for having me today. Lynn University, Boca Raton, visit campus, and hopefully I get to see you soon.
Thank you. Our next presenter is from the University of South Carolina.
Good afternoon, y'all. My name is Leanne. I'm from the University of South Carolina, Columbia. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen for y'all. I'm also joined today by Charlene Colbreth. She is also an admissions counselor in our office, so she's going to be answering questions as well as they do come up. But just a little bit about Carolina. We are the state flagship of South Carolina, so we have about 27,000 undergraduate students. With our grad student population, we sit right at about 35,000. So this is a little bit of a makeup about the general institution. We have a pretty even rate for the in-state to out-of-state ratio. And we also do have a lot of programs available for our underrepresented minority students, and also for any of y'all that identify as first-generation college students. So just know we have the support, and we want to definitely serve all of our students, and especially y'all. So moving on to how y'all can get involved on our campus, since we are a big institution, I think student organizations are a great way to find your community and your people on our campus. We actually have around 560 currently active. If y'all go to a website called Garnet Gate, you can actually see all of our student orgs that are active, and our things like club and intramural sports as well. So I definitely suggest hitting that. Another way that y'all can make your experience at U of SC unique is going to be things like our beyond the classroom experiences. So I think these are some great ways to be able to, make that experience unique, diversify it. I think no matter if y'all decide to pursue a graduate program or a job after undergrad, or even professional school, these can be great ways to connect your classroom experiences to your beyond the classroom experiences and really set yourself apart and have meaning in them. I mean, personally, when I was a student at U of SC, I was able to study abroad in Thailand. I received an undergraduate research grant, and I was able to get 2 internships through the institution. So I think we have tons of resources for y'all, and people on our campus want to help you succeed and maybe come up with goals that you didn't even know that you had before you became a Gamecock. So moving on also to our academics, hopefully some reasons that you all would be considering coming to Carolina would be our academic programs. We actually do have 60 nationally ranked programs in the undergraduate to the doctoral level. Additionally, we are going to have a 17-to-1 student to faculty ratio, and this is just going to be full-time faculty, not including like TAs or any adjunct professors. So I think we have tons of ways to definitely support y'all in the classroom as well. I think that can be a big concern if you're coming to a larger campus, like, am I going to get the support? And know that we have that for you. And we really want to see you succeed. And our professors are just as invested as y'all in y'all as you want to be invested in them. And they really are there for you. And we have tons of ways to have community in our classes as well. And I think that's a pretty good ratio for, 27,000 undergrads overall. We also have tons of major options for you guys. You can actually make over 300 unique degree combinations with our majors, our minors, and our cognates. All of our programs are going to be housed in these 12 different colleges and schools. We can't talk about every single major because that would take, way more than 6 minutes. But just know we have tons of options for y'all and ways that you can really create degrees together using like majors and minors. Also, if you're an honors college student, you can actually create your own degree program, which is really awesome. Also, if you don't have something that, fits your needs at that level. So just know we have tons of options for you. Kind of annually, our top 6 programs are going to include things like our biology program, our nursing, our business school, specifically pre-international business, sport entertainment management, exercise science, and undecided. You can come undeclared as a freshman to U of SC. So now a little bit of information about our freshman profile. This is kind of going to be more of a little bit of admission stuff. So if y'all decide that you did want to apply, these are going to be our middle 50% for students. For that GPA as well as these standardized test scores. Just know that you are not required to have like a minimum GPA or a minimum test score to apply. We're going to fully review any student that does submit an application. We do an emphasis on academic information. I also will go ahead and say too that we are test optional. We have renewed that policy. So students are not required to submit standardized test scores like the SAT or the ACT for consideration to the university, programs like our honors college or capstone, or admission. So it is up to y'all if you would like to submit one on your file through the fall of 2023. So for any juniors in the room, that does apply to y'all as it did for these past senior year. So kind of what do we look for as a state flagship when we're reviewing your applications? Like I said, there is going to be a holistic review process with an emphasis on academic information, but you can kind of see here a list of what we do mean by those academics. So things like your class rank, your rigor of your coursework, how you're doing your core classes, your different grades, things like that. And then also too, we do directly admit students into our major. So there's going to be a play in the part of where you're applying, as well as we do give a preference to in-state students. As a state flagship, we want to prioritize y'all first, kind of through our admissions process. But then it will still be holistic, so we'll look at things like your involvement, your extracurriculars, whether y'all are working part-time or in student clubs, or maybe you help out with your family, or maybe you just have a really cool hobby that you have that you want to let us know about. Feel free to include that so we kind of have an idea of what you have going on beyond the classroom and why you might be a great fit for U of SC. We also will have a process as well for y'all that will be a personal essay. These are going to kind of be our deadlines super quickly. Should you have an option to apply both early action or regular decision. Our early action is non-binding though. Applying by the state, you're not coming to come to Carolina any sooner, but that deadline will be on October 15th and you'll get a notification by mid-December. If you'd like to apply for the honors college, it's a separate application, but then the final date to apply to the institution as a freshman to be in full consideration for admissions and for our scholarships will be by December 1. So make sure that if you are applying as a freshman student for next year, you hit that deadline to give you the best consideration. And then, that is all I have for y'all this afternoon. Thank you so much for hopping on today. This is our contact information. Definitely feel free to let us know if you have any questions later. And thank you guys so much.
Thank you, Lillian. So that concludes the presentation portion of our session today, but we're now going to transition to the Q&A. I want to invite all of our presenters to return. Feel free to turn on your camera and I will pose a question to the group. Our presenters will respond to the question in the order in which they presented. So the question is, what advice would you give someone going through the college search process? So we will start with Columbia International University.
That's a great question. I hear this all the time, so I'm not trying to steal answers, but I always encourage students to visit. I think one good thing that's come out of COVID is that a lot of schools started offering virtual visit options. And I think visiting can be really difficult, especially if you're looking for schools out of state. It can be a lot of money, it can be time consuming getting out of school. So definitely take advantage of those virtual visit options. For us, you can still meet with a professor and everything like that. It's just a really, really good way to get a feel for the school.
And Spartanburg, feel free to go ahead and respond.
Okay. So in addition to what Rachel said, aside from visiting, make sure you're actually going to ask those colleges if you can sit in their classrooms, especially if you aren't completely sure about what you want to major in. You never want to just jump into anything blind. So make sure you're going, seeing what it's like to be inside those classrooms and actually live life as a college student. And then also just keep your options open. Don't be so dead set on one school to the fact that like you are completely ignoring any other school that could potentially have something better for you because you think that's what you want at that time. But that's about it.
I agree with everything that's been said so far. My piece of advice is to always ask questions. I'm a question asker myself because you don't know what you don't know. And I think also remember that there's multiple ways to get to the end goal. So I wanted to work in higher education, but I majored in psychology and theater in college. But nowhere on a piece of paper does theater and psychology get me into higher education. So just remember that there's multiple ways to get to what your dream of being is. It doesn't necessarily mean you have to major in this one singular thing. The number one degree accepted into law school is English. So just remember, there's a lot of ways to get to your end goal. And ask us how.
Yeah, ditto to everything. I think kind of piggybacking on what Converse University just said, like asking us how, take advantage of most universities have admissions counselors, information, people who can help you through this process. We're all very different, but we're all alike in a lot of ways, and kind of knowing those differences and distinguishing one university from another through this admissions process. Asking admissions counselors for help is definitely a plus.
Yeah, what everyone has said, I think, has been really, really definitely true, and I echo everything. Sorry about this glare from my window. But I think the last thing I'll go ahead and say is to determine your non-negotiables for an institution. So like if you know that you want to major in something very, very specific, they might not have it everywhere. So make sure that the schools that you're applying to have your major. If you need to stay somewhere that's close to home, if you want to be in a city over, a more rural area, or if you just know that it needs to have one specific club, otherwise you don't want to go there. Definitely determine some of those things. Think about finances too. We know that's really a part in the fit of ultimately like, where can I attend? Where should I apply? Where will I ultimately enroll? That's a big piece of that. So like everyone said, visit campus, utilize your resources to figure out some of those non-negotiables. But I think that's a big thing, when you're trying to narrow down your list of, where you would like to apply.
Great advice from the group. Thank you all. Final question here. And again, we'll start with Rachel. What's one thing you want students to remember about your school?
For us, I know that students are looking, they have so many different options. So just the quick kind of facts with CIU is we're a Christian college. We want our students to grow spiritually, academically, vocationally. One of the most kind of practical and maybe unique ways that we do that is through the required internship program that students have built into their major so that they can get that practical experience out in their field and for their resume. And then just in general, we're here, and I'm sure this is what all of the other admissions counselors would agree to. We're all here so that students don't have to stress out as much through the admissions process. It's stressful. The college decision process can be stressful, and we're all just here to help kind of make that a little bit easier for you and your family.
I think the biggest takeaway that I want students to remember about SCC is that we are the only community college in the state of South Carolina. So we have that home field the moment you walk onto one of our 5 campuses. And then also that we're offering free tuition for the next academic school year. So you're getting a quality education literally for free. So you can't really beat that.
This is a tough question, but I think the one thing I want students to remember about Converse or take away from Converse when they leave a visit or event is the feeling of community that is here. So we very much are a community. Our students live here all 4 years. We go to each other's events, sporting events, art shows. We all eat in the dining hall on a regular basis. So I think the thing I want people to remember is that when they're looking for schools, if they know they need smaller, if they know they need a community, if they know they need their professor to know them by name. Like I needed my professor to know that my name is Michelle Hernandez and that I am in this class, and I needed them to care. That's what Converse offers. So community.
I think for Lynn University, we're an incredibly dynamic university, but I think most of all, we are a 1,000 times student-centric. We are a teaching university. Everything we do here at Lynn is for the student. We always joke that we're a university who's not done yet. And sorry for the freezing of the face here, guys. But yeah, we're a university that's not done yet, and will never be done because we're always changing things up if our students are in need of it. We want to make sure that they're having the best educational experience as possible.
Yeah, and then finally, I would really just say that, as the state flagship of South Carolina, we really do have so many different things to offer. And I think that that's really a benefit to our students because we have so many options for you. I mean, really, like the things that you can accomplish at Carolina are basically limitless. So just kind of keep that, in mind if you're thinking about a large state public, we have those options for you. And if you want to be a Gamecock, there's always pathways to get here.
All right. Well, thank you all for sharing and thank you for presenting. We are approaching the end of our session today, but I do have a few closing announcements. As you exit from this Zoom session, a survey will appear. It's approximately 5 questions or so, but please complete the survey. It's extremely helpful as we aim to improve our virtual college fair offerings. I also want to remind you to visit our registration site to sign up for additional sessions. And finally, you can access this recording by visiting strivescan.com/Carolinas. With all of that said, I want to thank our amazing presenters for joining me, but also thank you to all of our attendees. I hope everyone has a great evening. Thank you.